boy any nsɛm no bi ene sɛ yɛbɛkɔ na yakɔhwɛ government accountability series ya banku ntabuo no yɛbɛkɔ akotie bi ɛno ɛda nkyɛn a ɛyade a yɛkasa trade minister wɔhwɛ ɛsɛ yɛbambo adwumakuo ntade a wɔn mo hyɛ no enka yɛbɛtumi apempam ɛwɔ ɔman yi mu na aboa ama yɛ local industries no so agyina ne nan so DVLA di amanebɔ aba sɛ wɔn mo hyɛ sɛ de ɛbɛyɛ digital na yepese yekono ebeko so to 20 woka se u register yansa na 2023 yewura mu dia bopini DVLA office bi e ben wo se de be ya obetumi ede wo nsem akogu mfidie ne so na aboa amondwumadie no ofiti ase a akọ ohyew so anomabo emfimfin mantamu na afarefo a wo hode adesede ato aban nim se wo mekọ wo no mo eboa and some of from Kayabika Winum ho and a Midday air some more. Achamehema ayeme, amma sapin kuma Jesse Afe, Yantinsi and some no emo. Ghana Airports Company Limited, Echo Jina and Penyum 4 year accountant public. Ebusia for ye motto na yenko abanku ntabuo adwumani mu na yenko hwe ye ba no na Yera Felix Ofosukwache na gina simpie so a wode eniema aban no aye de omuguso omo ye ba bi aba beduro ba bi a wo munya mfiti ase na ehun senka ye nyina eto dwanti yenko na yenko hwe kakra.
My name is Wisdom Hedejime. I work with TVXYZ. Now, you ended year one without any scandal, as Ghanaians are calling that a free year, no scandal. Public officers had a good conduct, and what should we expect in year two? Because then year one, you said we are stabilizing the economy. What should we expect in year two? And then your priorities. And then again, the president is very particular about the implementation of the affirmative action law. What exactly is the modalities in the implementation? And then I want to know the Media Development Fund, when is it going to be rolled out, and who stands to benefit? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, Minister, my name is Dominic Nana Kwamenan-Sapra from Metro TV. My question has to do with the Commander Sugar Factory.
Yes, I think
what is the current update on that? Right, the Commander people want to know. And also the MPP is also electing a leader on the 31st of January. We want to know, there have been some prophecies so far, prophecies of doom. You created an office for that. Let's know how things are going so far. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, my name is Julius.
Sure.
I report for the Ghanaian Times.
All right.
Mr. Minister, early this year, somewhere on the 5th, former Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta was detained by ICE, a U.S. agency in charge of immigration. This is a man the state has been looking for. Are we taking advantage of his detention? Is the government of Ghana engaging the American authorities to sanitize the space and take advantage of he being held there and then have him extradited to Ghana? And then secondly, there is one big elephant in the room that we don't normally talk about, which has to do with rent issues here in the country. The rent laws are very clear, but you see landlords colluding with agents and then abusing the law. What's government's position on this, and how are you going to ensure that these laws are enforced to give people some reprieve that they need? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So on the back of the Fuyakta question, I just wanted to ask this. The agreement we had with the United States of America on deportation, I wanted to know how many deportees we've received, how many we've repatriated, and if there were some who wanted to stay here and we're still sending them away. Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Minister. My name is Patrick Asford Boydu, Radio Gold. I just want to find out from you if you have any updates or how far with investigation. If you could remember, early last year, some gold bars were seized by security operatives at the airport. I just want to find out if there is any updates or how far with investigations, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, Reverend sought to find out the status of a name change of the Jubilee House. Reverend, the simple answer to that is that I have not been apprised of a name change. If that happens, we would inform the Ghanaian public accordingly. But President Obama continues to discharge his responsibilities, which, among others, aims to make life more comfortable for the people of Ghana and develop our country on a sustainable trajectory. The troops in Jamaica are doing well. So far, we've not had any adverse reports. I'm also not aware of any specific requests to increase the numbers. If that should happen, I'm sure the appropriate authorities would examine the request, and if it is something that they can respond to, they will indicate same. No scandal or corruption. The point is that corruption scandals don't happen in and of themselves. Often it is a lack of controls that lead to corruption and abuse of office for personal gain. So if you have a system where no proper systems are put in place to check this, human nature is such that the tendency will be for people to be tempted to engage in that kind of activity. So President Mahama has been aware of this from day one. That's why he launched the Code of Conduct for Public Officials who work under him. That's why he insisted by a certain date, everybody should file their asset declaration forms with the Auditor General. And then he has introduced what we call commitment authorization. In other words, you agree that most corruption scandals stem out of procurement. The desire for public officials to engage in procurement, that's where the bulk of corruption occurs. So there must be a system that checks this. And the president has established the commitment authorization through the finance minister. So every procurement within a certain threshold that needs to be done must obtain commitment authorization. If you don't get it, the finance minister is simply not going to pay. That is what it means. Through that process, you are then able to scrutinize the request for procurement, the processes, and flag any unlawful acts or any acts that have the likelihood to lead to corruption. So you can stem the activity even before it occurs. But that happens if you have strict oversight, and that is currently what is happening. That is why you don't find corruption happening, because you are not at liberty to do as you please. You must go through a system that is robust to check any excesses. You recall that the minister also announced the setting up of the Value for Money Office, which will be a body set up to look into the value of all government procurement, so that when you say that this spend costs 100 cedis, it is examined to ascertain whether or not it is true that the true value of this spend is 100 cedis. That office will also provide an additional layer of scrutiny and checks and balances on public procurement. So corruption is fought through a systems approach. It is not ad hoc. It is not by bold and lofty declarations. It has to be done through firm action, and that is what is happening. So these systems will continue to be strengthened. The president has also indicated that even if somebody is able to slip through this robust and watertight arrangement, he will take swift action to ensure that even as we hold past public officials accountable, officials in this government will be held accountable. In fact, it is the most important of the fight to be able to deal with corruption in one's own government. If that is done, you wouldn't even need to pursue former government officials, because the accountability system is such that once it occurs, it will be addressed. That is what President Mahama seeks to set up in the period that he remains government. Of course, the affirmative action law is dear to President Mahama's heart, and he consistently works to ensure that it comes to fruition and that all the provisions in there are adhered to, so that our women folk take their rightful place in the efforts to build Ghana, and they make their deserved contribution. The Commander Sugar Factory is still being worked on. It is important to carry out an assessment of the state of the factory. The intent was for sugar to be produced there, so that we cut down on the large volumes of sugar imports as a way of even addressing the problems with the exchange, because you need foreign currency to be able to do this importation if it is coming from outside the country. So the Commander Sugar Factory was set up to bridge that gap. Unfortunately, we finished setting it up just before we left office in 2016. What was left was for the cultivation of a plantation, and then a system to offtake from outgrowers to feed the factory. The MPP failed to do that and left the factory in a state of disrepair. Once we took over, it was necessary to assess the situation and look for the best approach to get the factory to become operational. I'm confident that the trade minister, when she takes a turn at this program next week, will shed light on the status of the Commander Sugar Factory and indicate clearly what government is doing to bring it back to fruition. Let me indicate that there's no office of prophecy. What it is that there's a designated official who liaises with the religious community, because it's an important section of society, and the government has to be sensitive to the beliefs and aspirations of its people. So there's an officer who has the mandate to liaise with religious organizations. For a long time, the Ghanaian public has become concerned about the proliferation of prophecies, especially on the 31st December, and all manner of claims are made, some of which sometimes defy understanding and what have you. It was important to put in place a structured system so that whatever claims are made are examined, so that people do not use that as an avenue to create needless panic and exploit people, what have you. So that is what it is about. It is not an office dedicated to prophecy, no. It's an office dedicated to maintaining relations between governments and an important section of society, which is the religious community. That is what it is. Ken Oforiatta, like all public officials, we are subject to scrutiny. So whether you are in government or outside government, once you have served in public office, you must be open to scrutiny and accountability. There are many public officials, including some who served under President Mahama during his first tenure, who were subjected to all manner of judicial processes with a view to exerting accountability from them. And Mr. Ken Oforiatta was in government when that happened. So I see no reason why he should seek to evade accountability when similar questions are. Indeed, President Mahama himself was a subject of investigations. I'm sure you remember that. And he subjected himself to investigations. He was interviewed by the special prosecutor. Eventually, it was found that the allegations were unfounded and nothing untoward had happened in that particular matter. So he is working a free man. So if Ken Oforiatta is confident that indeed he has done nothing untoward, I think that he should avail himself to the appropriate authorities to carry out their investigations. Indeed, the Attorney General has indicated that he has sent a formal extradition request to the authorities in the United States of America who are processing it. Along the line, because of the concerns raised by the Ghanaian government, I think that his visa was revoked, which then made it an issue for ICE. So he is currently in detention. We are aware that on the 20th of this month, he will be appearing in court. Depending on the outcome of the court proceedings, I think that the appropriate steps will be taken. But the Ghanaian government is interested in holding all public officials to account. And if the investigative authorities believe that there's a basis to investigate you, I think they should be encouraged to carry out that investigation. The rent laws and abuse and exploitation, I think is a worrying situation. That's why President Mahama committed himself to social housing, and it's a policy that will be rolled out in the time that he is president. So first of all, increase the housing stock, which then also, in classical economic terms, beats down the prices. That will be in addition to strict enforcement of the rent laws, so that tenants are not exploited by house owners and landlords who want to engage in rent-seeking behavior. And then the repatriation of Ghanaians. Again, I think that the deportation of Ghanaians and other West African nationals, yes. I think that the foreign minister who appeared on this platform a couple of months ago explained that there is some understanding that was reached with the American government that we will only accept West African nationals who have no criminal record, because the ECOWAS protocols indeed allow West African nationals to come to Ghana and stay for a definite period, after which they can leave and come back. So there's really nothing untoward about having ECOWAS citizens in Ghana. Once they come, arrangements are made to send them to their respective countries. As far as I know, that has been done. As and when they come, they are processed and sent to their countries of origin. And there's really no difficulty as we speak with that arrangement. In terms of the specific numbers, I think that an update can be obtained from the foreign ministry, and I'll be more than happy to put it out once that update becomes available. Thank you very much. Yes, the Media Development Fund is something that we are mulling. We've had challenges with it in the past. It was well intentioned to assist the media, as the name implies, to develop and take care of some welfare issues of journalists, but it ran into some difficulties. We've learned lessons from that, so we are currently engaged in discussions and efforts to revitalize it so that when it comes back, it serves a more useful purpose than before. Which question was that? Well, I can get an update for you from the National Security Secretariat, yes. Last question, yeah. Microphone, yeah.
If you can spare some moments and speak about the fight against galamsey. The first year of your government.
Yes, I think significant efforts.
NIMOs and the rest.
Yes, in fact,
tell us something. What
only this morning I woke up to
of the water and all of that.
I woke up this morning to a briefing by NIMOs on some action that they have taken against Ghana, and they do it on a daily basis. Significant gains have been made since we came to power. When we came to power, around this time last year, there were 9 forest reserves that were under the control of bandits, non-state actors. As I speak, those 9 forest reserves have been reclaimed by government. The infamous LI 2462 now stands revoked, and further effort will be made to tighten the laws in the Mining and Mineral Act to make it impossible for anybody to mine in a forest reserve. Thousands of persons who are engaged in illegal mining are in custody. There are some of them who are actually standing trial. Others have dockets being prepared on them. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice is working towards setting up special courts. Indeed, Cabinet has considered the introduction of the tribunals. That's one of the ways that we can hasten the prosecution process without, of course, compromising due process and unfairly undermining the rights of accused persons. But when that happens, it will hasten the process. There's now a process to regulate the influx of excavators, so that you cannot just get up and go and import an excavator under the pretext of engaging in lawful activity, only for it to end up in illegal mining. So the system has been put in place to curb it. Excavators have actually been seized and destroyed. Others are under the custody of the security agencies. We have seized shamfans, we have seized water pumps and donated same to farmers to use for lawful activity and water. So a lot of work has been done. But of course, we are the first to admit that more needs to be done, especially to bring back our water bodies to the desirable quality that will be safe for human consumption. That will be achieved.
Yeah, for Yera Felix of Osukwache and Yaten and Kano or no any abain in Gita Hodie Bofotene ewo abankesi muna and 70 be a nanko for the can bisano or ye be an on the de to ho nanko for bisa wache say the anti corruption cry washa and said that anyente how mafia dikane say abino what didn't she yegwa kwan so yeah say procurement kra na yes be a yes say abain ehia we nti yekoto na cement boy e be a 10 pesos and now the abase 500 Ghana wo ma seti ku a wo mbekọ hwehwe ni nyina ma hunu abonten bo ne yede abeto aban ni hunu se wo no wo pese oye fragadam enti sa ne mani nyina aboa ya etuatua ntokro bi no dan chen a commander sugar factory so ho nsem ade a wo mo ede ho nsem bi etu edwa na yesi yebobo so nkakra enti yebekọ nsem fofromu Ghana Airports Limited ye wonum MD nana afri year pare enra ekopie mu ewo Public Account Committee ema yetoto na no edefa ye wiem ahyen ebo chese sika no wo so wonum chechemu ese ebeboa amodwumadi aya wodie no etumi akonkan entra eno enanchen no wo se wonum ampagya bo ni mu a eba ne bambon nsem wiem hyen no sede wo betumi adi omdwuma ama na duru amansansi sudua so a na kyerese eniema ebechia no nti na ema ebo no ewo so ni nyina enkamfo ano Public Account Committee assign editudwa say wo muti say 2077 round ammunition and after 20 weapons so yeche wo airport no ho nsem so kosi se wo kyerese wo ne bambo agent tukuo no nyina eguso a wodi nsem ne mu hwehwemu anya de a emu ba akokora ebefa baabi we nyina ka ho bi ene odwumadie enam so mane bo ekoso sanse wo so omia bambo mu na omanfo bambo ho nsem so atumi agya ne nan so yeda so gyina mu ano ewo Public Account Committee no chairperson Madam Abna Osei Asare edi atudwa se atenase ya wo mu ye bi a obi wo ho obeka say ye kwa na so aboa agi sika 12.7 billion Ghana cedis ene de ama oman no ne nyina ne say bowo bia toja amwo hunu se de wuye bia no ye beba be odete ye odete so a na dwurumudie bia bemu a oman ne betoto ano ebemi ye hunu de wudi bone ene de wani bone sika no ba bia da no ye hye ne age e de afiri ho enti sa ne meni nyina boa ama omanfo ani abom ho so se de be ya wuda adwuma bia no a won toto na se enye no basabasa ye beko Ashaiman ehwe dwedie ensam so no na eno na minister say wo hwe esenka yenima nyina betoto so na ba ne say ye security agencies no wo mo ntade wo mo hye ne ade no ye be ye ni nyina wo mem na aboa ama ye local industries no egina ne nan so
made in Ghana no mi nhemu kena enti me frɛ me nuanom ministers a omo hwe interior defense education lands and forestry say adeɛ baako a mede mani hwɛ ayɛ a ɛbɛboa Ghana pa ne sɛ ye uniforms na security for hye lands and forestry te sɛ forestry commission for ne ade ne hye no senka itimi ye kwan na ye pam no wa ha kebama ye garment industry na kɔ nanim pa me kan obi aso ne me ya adwen kama because on $6 na ade akomo obi a opam ade ni nyina bɛka krom ha ya na adwuma no na ɛbɛboa ye nyina ɛbɛka ya Ushe 2026 budget year aban be so private sector companies miensa asin amoma ye garment factories akese pa baako ewo eastern region baako wo central region baako wo bunu east it is ye guso ye create market for sa industry ne dey existing ne dada na me wie kra me sa komani in fact ma start sa discussion ne kra me international brands amanko fa pam wo Ghana ha ye wo companies mienu miensa bia amopam for international brands, but you perceive more ma Ghana eventually be a hub for textiles and garment for West Africa ha.
Oh, a very good initiative. Senior Honorable Kanye no. At the moment Ghana garment and apparel sector no. Yakoye nimbebre. We have capacity. Na coincidentally no. Yenya enough orders in free. Ya ye maimo. And ya kanwa sama suwa samni andini na nyamia dum on President of Ghana. Our commitment led by the Honorable Minister say going forward, on a more broad base, collectively, uniforms, here in Ghana. It's a very good initiative that we've been fighting for, we've been looking forward to, we've been lobbying for, and we are very happy about it.
The government and your companies young ones. Omunyina benye ejuma ti se ne minister na kind industry a employ nkofo omo ni education ejuma wo homo omo education edu baby ejuma wo homo omo ye graduates ejuma wo wenye wo PhD kwa wo ejuma wo nti sa sector ni yendi ho agro so we hwe America o ma ye great industrialized nation we hwe China baby o modru omo nyina starting from manufacturing garments ni textiles e hono hwe ase wo because hono utumi ye ejuma pi ejuma na yesi e pese de man kora sector we na be ma over 50% of it in a very short time eno kwa na ye then in a very short time.
DVLA se wonjumedi awodie no wosesema kwa abefo kwan so eno nti wose Ghana ni bibia wo register wo car ansan yera 2023 mo no ko DVLA office bi e benwo na wadaro mebru wo monye wo ho nsenkaye na won fa ngu mfidie no so ko sisede ya wo atwenye mu atwen se emrahwebdwafo besan wo no mo enso anode won hyehyeye ode akogu wanim no so sede be ya hyehyeye ni nyina ebetumi akọ wano
Omunyanya enye electronic registration no onboarding no the omeni say odi uka documents na wankasa odi be call DVLA office via eben ukwa ne pese ni say u paper file na e wo ho na ya scan egu computer no so no ye hwe say niam na egu sa file no so no the same information na waka no so ana na nipa na yɛsi saa car ne ani deɛ no sɛ yɛ verify ni Ghana card a yɛhwɛ nipa na saa nipa na ana sɛ yɛhwɛ saa nneɛma yi na yɛgye tum sɛ yɛwo ɛna ɔgyina car na ɔde bayɛ ne saa car na yɛ clear for new system na kyerɛ sɛ time bana sɛ yɛ new registration wobɛtumi ayɛ bi wobɛtumi afei anya title ama wo car na ɛwɔ no saa process wei so ɛboa ɛma yɛbɔ car no ɛne car no no kra ho ban ɛna ɛboa ma yɛ improve national security so nti nea yɛ ne sɛ yɛn kan sɛ yɛyɛ no from onboarding no ɛbɛwie ɛda bi yɛn kan yɛ but yɛyɛ education yɛn carry mu nyinaa a mo workers sɛ monkɔ na monkɔ yɛ onboarding no ansa na registration period no a ɛbɛyɛ no ɛbɛwie na sɛ wentumi anyɛ na sɛ yɛwie re-registration na ɛbɛha wentumi use wo car no.
This very administration's 4 years, first 4 years, we should be able to open 40 offices. Last year we did 10 out of the 40. Last year we did Adenta, that is running on 24-hour basis. We did Boli, we did Akutia and Ashaiman Kesi. We did Bichim and Doma. We again did Ashanti Abuakwa and Ejisu. We did Dansoma. And then North Dai, making 10 in number. As we speak now, this very month, we have Ashaiman office ready. We have Kaswa office ready. We have one in Bantama. That is an existing PBTS which we've upgraded to Ultra. We have Idum, it's a new office which is ready. We have the Teshinwa office which is also ready. And then we have one in Jasikai, which is also a PBTS which has been upgraded to an Ultra Center. So these 6 are ready for commissioning, and from 2 weeks time, we'll go around to commission these.
Yatwa ensam so na associate professor Bakwa Accra Technical University or Department of Accounting and Finance, Professor Ibrahim Zibario or the atu edwase so wo hwa Ghana fo ko mo ha wo mu ni nyina ne se yasesa aban.
So far so good. I believe say baby I work for our mind sister baby aba even the way in the panokwa interact na hatred yaba but with the change of government you know why limit them hatred among people no why limit minya yanka exchange rate no waba single digit the Bank of Ghana na Minister of Finance obotuma when you a minimum of at least between 8 and 10 on run between them it shouldn't go beyond 10 now one award the cities would them what to dollars one more dollars in the system will create artificial shortage you know I say we trace one and you know those things they have to look at it fuel price you know one share come who say any dollar in echo anytime a dollar no echo should be no say fuel price no cost kakra obe film and so abe film kakra and also no kuta bibia but abai na yade from baby I what jail my no I be doing but another thing I have me in Damba na farmers no why na besinda no when your market buffer stock company no I say what share na what do hujma that will help them a lot because there must be a way say yen to me use in the minimum crampon say you be partnership by processing of those perishable ones in Crampoa yen cocoa sector say yes share now you to boost production there's a way we can do it there's the management of the cocoa sector should listen we have a lot to offer them but it's like we are running para to each other and you know while you know what the bebo and I'm a winning that my boy or mine be no the boy they are running off say you my boy could do for no warrior I don't Ghana yen sɛ yɛmbu yɛn ho wɔ ɔman no mu a ebi mu bu yɛn nti ne nimdina a yɛwɔ no sɛ ɔman no lankasa yɛakɔ school wɔ ɔman no mu na yɛboɔ yɛ ɔman no sɛ mo mpɛ a no so obi bɛfrɛ ma a menka dɛ menkɔ. They have to learn to embrace their own. That's the problem we have. And this is meaningful. You have talent in your party. You have professionals in your party. You have people who are sacrificed for the party. You don't reject them. Ochina, they will need the people they have rejected. From into what Davida. Woman MPP for Jawa Woody se wolusi. Nka amanfo obetena osi tinusie wa ye dwuma papa e da aboa John Mama aboa de nipa ina abo wa no mo bia de na adwuna abama John Mama we tume aye wo fenden aye krabohwe mo chena no obi abo se NDC wa ya de papa magana BC da.
Regional Director, Eastern Regional Director, Edema Pomodin, Honomo, Dr. Damien, what they are two just was Sabain, one chair or Maya Sabiano, Emuma, one sunset, dear Nipe Bahono, Kamia say a brom sokakra.
The rapid population growth within the Suhum municipality and its surrounding catchment communities has led to increasing demand for healthcare services. Unfortunately, this demand has not always been matched with corresponding expansion in infrastructure. Limited ward space and congestion have therefore remained persistent challenges. In addition to these, the hospital continues to grapple with limited staff accommodation, a situation that affects staff availability, response time, morale, and retention. Many dedicated health workers commute long distances to provide care, sometimes under very challenging circumstances.
SAP facility, it is not a luxury, but it is also a human right. I am deeply troubled and worried that the emergency ward, continue to be in this poor state. And it, so I uplifted the emergency ward, I'm ready to partner spirited organizations and corporate bodies to ensure we will expand, refurbish and retool the Suhum accident and emergency ward.
Including some of our leaders. They love their pockets but not Ghana. They love their parties but not Ghana. One party. When they have to choose between their party and Ghana, they will choose the party over Ghana. Now, if you have to examine all the patriotic songs, our forebears place the development of this nation not on the leaders but on all of us. But it looks to me that these days we blame the top and we all think that we are free. So at this point, I want on behalf of the Executive Council to appreciate Suhum area for this kind gesture that they've done in support of our country, Ghana.
Amen. Greater Accra Mantam Hanso Ebusiafo nkasa ho dwumadie bi akoso a waye ntete sonko de ama nsentwofo de afa ye nsamawa tuberculosis wabo no ho.
Smoking, whether cigarette or and I say marijuana of any kind, to me ma TB, at me ma honam ahondi no ekofom ama TB at me cho. Saa nso na alcohol etimi ye nipadua mu ama TB eba. Your risk groups to say more prisons to say more HIV area almost ntimi treat omo ho TB timi chi omo tentem na esan wo contacts of known TB cases. I say obi a onya TB na onfa edrunu na wonunu etinadna baako a ewo poor ventilation and say one year observation of basic precautions obetimi anya TB no from such people. Another high risk group is those involved in mining, illegal mining and other just general mining environment, you know, that's no true. And a lot of people who are there, message, you know, basic precautions, no mun timi mfa. Nti that's no etimi ma o lungs no weak. Emma TB timi. Children, especially 15 years and below, who are living with other people who have TB, especially those who are not treating themselves, are at high risk of getting the disease. Nti omamefo se omame no yare a na onum eduru a otimi di ma ne ba no from regular contact and breastfeeding no ema ekola no ewo high risk. Stigma and discrimination there ya sem kese pa dia ema the effort to control TB no ekwache ye hia media collaborations ena cured TB volunteers no as a TB champions no say omboa na enyina ma general education to the public aiming at changing the behaviors and perceptions of people towards TB as a disease. A lot of the people can still manage it at home, especially if there's good support. You give the treatment, you identify nipa obe support na treating fee. Apart from that, say ehun here say yen admit nipa for TB treatment yet me admit ewo hospital ema treatment. Enya yare a onya bia o ehia say unwo sika wo botum treatment ni nyina ye free for everybody in this country. TB yare a etimichi obia everybody is at risk because yare a ewo mframam nti say obinya bia ema yen discriminate yen ye basic precautions no na yembom because TB ba the social problems ba somebody with TB will not go to work, he may not go to work, he will lose his income and other social issues. So we need to support people. We need to also stop discriminating. Yen discrimination no.
Office North District empanyufo no akoma nkokon ketenkete no ekuyafo wo ha na yache nkokon ketenkete empimunum ama won se omfa mfiti ase
ye chengo kono under the nkokon ketenkete program aban ehye no pese ohwe every Sunday ko fee 9 na fee de ne pilot no ye dikan hwe ama kono omenketwa no abedu na otibe miensa aye chama omwa omwo duwe etimi ahwe emwa na sano me ina ye no ma binsi kan ye pese sika sem ye de kofra ko e wa manene asoti na empo the household nutrition I can say my honde and so improve
ye omampanyini His Excellency President Mahama na so say ya wode e ba ya e chese o say ye enkoko anase as oman no ye ya yenkoko a ye betimi edi ewo oman mu ye household poultry production ye kano enkoko enkoko na koko adaroma ene offensive North District. The first consignment 5,000 bears. We be kind and then Anna Yade or Emma and Kukono Eddie. Now what you see you say Sabi Umumu Emia Yebetimi Ede Ama Uma Yedika actually he said Emo Yedema and Crank a futua a day a2 a Piafua omu ti ebeyi na omu enya enkuko no bi enise omu enkohwe enkuko no yi eduane papa e wo se yede mu omu yemfa mu efu papa e wo se yede ema omu no yemfa mu omu na omu ntimi no
omampanyin do mama nso odi hu ba ko one enkopoku yese om den kokon ketenkete ebeba ama na aba beboa efie bia se de bi bekom na fe beboa yen efa yede bi mu na nama ye krafra buti de bedu ba bi kura na ye kra bi ti dwumadie na hyase wo mmea mmea bebiri sabre office north eye akomadan na ye head eni nti sa dwumadie sankoko ya bi na manya egu abobo ya ma ya megina ho eni ti ye ni kurotro do so mompanyin do mama ne bo sha wo hye ye no abamu na enam disi so eye honorable Caesar Fusua champion ono so antenase ono so kanyan ono ne mpanifo ebokin ye say wo say ono so ne mpasua so office no office so ensa kan omo de ampa enne de biyi office no off yan so yate de ya nkokon ketekete no ya che ama me sa ka me de
I heard of this nkokon ketekete that the president initiated, so I registered, and today, God willing, our DCE called us and has delivered I'm very grateful to the DCE for making them available for us, and I'm also
Ashaiman Mensa Assembly.
His Excellency had made available funds for the construction and the completion of the building, and today we are here to cut the sword for the commencement of the project. As we speak, probably by next week or next 2 weeks, I'm going to cut another sword for a maternity block, a 2-story maternity block that will be built at Committee 22 Polyclinic, and a host of projects that is coming to Ashaiman. And so I just want to let the people of Ashaiman know that the reset agenda that we promise the good people of Ghana, and for that matter Ashaiman, is happening. As I speak with you, a dialysis center is being built also through my common fund at the Ashaiman Municipal Hospital, and so on and so forth. So we have a lot of projects that are coming to Ashaiman.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Emma Assemblies Ninsaka 80% of the common fund, and 80% of the common fund na ebayeno. Omama say ye use 20% na fancy school adan. Na yenfa another 20% ye fancy the 24-hour economy market. And a school desk ni insure ni sanitation ya maniama. Enti dia ye hu wa ha no 2025 common fund na eba Ashaiman Municipal Assembly a there was a fancy school adan no. Eno na ene ye hye sa school dan na ase.
Ashaiman ha se ya school dan ahodi pa. Ntem ya be call school be brebu no overcrowded ho. Into the purpose of this board is to say you see increase enrollment. Now if you are reducing overcrowding. Near my no 6 unit classroom block or ground floor no. Your staff common room. Your 6 unit WC room. And your headmaster office also room. I think that's your a place I did by training and practicals for workshop. Oko top also your ICT or and now 6 unit classroom block. Your staff common room, your headmaster's office or the washroom or and the washroom for the students. It's basically you need 12 unit classroom block.
Ranger and toys here you be you go so here to near Mantino 6 months no more can a very sure say Omunza can within that 6 months with the hope say a resist certificate and Sawakan scanner there. There's no problem. 6 months will be done.
Yabusia yatoa ensam no so na krata efra pomoden aso ye no ababontene ese meningitis yade no eyade a ebe unity ebetumi unity emia hodo binu mu a munim se meningitis no ekeka ne ho wo ho no saafo ni nyina momma mani enam ho so wo se eniema bia wodo behunu se meningitis yade no wanya bie ye se high fever obetumi anya bia fei tipaye bnane eno da nchen a obi wo ho ahunu se ne kwanchi na ye te dendenden otwa ne konkora enye afei efie ene abofuno obi wo so ahunu se nani su bire no den se obi wo ho obetumi anante obi wo so a convulsion timi ka no obi susu timi twa efemu enkwada etitu no wose ntwada obohunu se no wo susu basabasa etoda kombe so obedidi na wahunu se ensunsu aso no bi eno no ene wose ho amu na betumi anya wose nkwada enya ni mfie num no sa nkwada no eye easy se omubenya afa mayo ane memu ansusu timinya ene mpanyifo afa mu amotete emiamia nipa abo apeso ye mframa emfam no so ebetumi enya mo nti safo ni nyina enhwe ye ho eye wose se wo ba bia nipa abo peso emframa mfa ho a ya na watwe ho anyesa ebetumi aha adwen wo hu sa nsunsu aso nyina bia bomoden tam na kọ apomoden fo ho na wonom enhwe se de be ye beboa ama yade no nko konya bie wose se wanya bi nso a wo bo wa akatoa no unwensi ankoye hwitin nkofo ahwene mu na wakata ohwene se de be ya wonko so enteche yade no aha ne yade mu esi na ya homeso ye koton kra ye ba bongo difara aboabo agodie mu nsema no a ode beto ayeso